What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Squawk and Seeds Podcast, your favorite Pokemon podcast, your favorite Pokemon podcast. My name is Kyle Cooper Rios, and I am joined, as I am every week, by my co-host, the Pony Bottle Champ, Mr. George Fabre. George, happy Tuesday, sir. How you doing?
Hola, senor. ¿Cómo estás?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good.
You didn't think I was going to hit the Spanish with you right there, did you?
You definitely caught me looking at a curveball there, son. I was sitting fastball, and you.
Come on, bro.
You
Where's
hit me-
your Boricua side, dude? You should have responded back in Spanish. Come on.
Cinco de Mayo's not till next month, man. So
Oh,
I was fucking at the top of the morning, something Irish. You know, we are.
I would do the hat
just
thing there, but I got these
Yeah.
stupid haircuts.
Yeah, we're just coming off of St. Patrick's Day in America. George, let me be the last person to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Overrated, but I love the holiday. But I didn't do anything really St. Patrick's Day related. Did you?
No, actually, I didn't. I did, however. I will grab my prop while I talk about this. I went to a hockey game over the weekend, and I went to the Rangers game on the New York Rangers, for those uninclined, not to be confused with the Texas Rangers. I went to Madison Square Garden this weekend, and they were doing a baseball jersey giveaway night for St. Patrick's Day. So I got this green Rangers jersey.
That's pretty freaking cool, honestly.
It is pretty sick. I'm a sucker for a good sports promotion. So I was very, very excited about that. So it was a lot of fun. The Rangers lost, which was not fun, but I got to
But was it surprising?
It was for a couple of reasons. I had a shout out to my friend Jen, who hooked it up with the tickets, and it was a lot of fun. I've never been that close to the ice before. I think I was maybe like 12 or 13, maybe like 10-ish rows from the ice. It was pretty sick. I had a great time. I love hockey. But yeah, other than that, my St. Patrick's Day was boring. We had green bagels at work, which I feel like is kind of a thing that you do on St. Patrick's Day. Had some corned beef over the weekend. So not I participated in ways. I don't like Guinness, so I didn't drink a Guinness.
Yeah, you're not cool like that.
I just don't like it's too heavy in the tummy, especially nowadays. Like I only got so much real estate down there now. So
It's actually the lightest beer known to man.
Is that true?
It's 100% true. I know for sure. I drink a lot of it. I had 3
You know,
today.
if there's ever an area I'm not going to question you on, it's that.
Legitimately had
like
3
beer.
right before this. So
George may or may not be a little silly tonight, but
it's going to be an interesting podcast.
It is every week, but yeah, that's how I spent my weekend. George, how's your start of the week been?
Start of the week's been fine. Over the weekend, I actually golfed, which I hate golf, to be honest. My friends take it way too seriously. I just want to like chill, have a couple of brews. It was like super cold too. I was wearing shorts. I didn't have the best time, if I'm being honest. But it was fun to hang out with my friends. And then Sunday, I hung out with my family. We celebrated my birthday, which was on Tuesday.
That's right.
So Tuesday birthdays are weird because no one knows which weekend is like your birthday weekend. So I kind of had 2. For a guy that like doesn't give a shit about their birthday, like I was very celebrated. So shout out my friends, especially you guys.
Yeah, listen,
the little Applebee's too,
Of course, for those of you that are uninclined, we didn't have an episode last week because it was George's birthday last Tuesday. George turned the ripe old age of 23.
Yes, correct.
So only a couple more years before you can rent a car.
These grays are coming in so fast.
Yeah, you're the most stressed out 23-year-old I've ever met.
Seriously,
you're really worrying about what you're going to do when you get kicked off the insurance in a couple of years, but it's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. Yeah, we had a good time. We gave you the day off so you can celebrate. I am personally of the mindset where if your birthday falls during the week, you have the option to select of both weekends if you like. My birthday is always in like a weird spot because my birthday's at like the beginning of the month, so my birthday usually is like in like a weird spot. I think my birthday actually falls on a Friday this year, which is pretty cool. So every like 5 years, I have a cool birthday. But I usually reserve the right to celebrate on both weekends if my birthday is on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something. So I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I didn't expect anything. So, like, all my friends just being the truest of friends. Let me just put it that way. I got really good friends and I appreciate everybody. So it's been a fun couple weekends.
Yeah, we love you, Georgie.
I love you
We
too, buddy.
we give you we give you a lot of grief, but you are my life, and I even put this on my Twitter post. My life is significantly more
Dude,
interesting now that you're a
also
part of it. So
such a nice Twitter post. Honestly, like I teared up a little bit. I wish I was lying. I shed a tear. I was like, wow, that was really nice of Kyle. Thank you.
I love you,
I
buddy.
didn't tell you
So
that in
happy birthday.
person, so I'm a piece of shit for that.
We also didn't talk about it, so it's fine.
I
Yeah,
just with all the hoopla, I just kind of forgot. But now that you brought it up, it was very nice. So thank you.
yeah. Anytime, bud. Love you. Happy birthday. And we'll touch more on that later in our Squawk and Seas this week. But as we do every week, we got some Pokemon tournaments to talk about. There was 2 regionals that happened last weekend that really, I think a lot of us are pretty checked out as we are now in the twilight of Journey Together. We got a pre-release to talk about and a bunch of other things. And of course, Squawker Seas this week. We'll start with Friday, which I guess, yeah, we can start on Friday. There's a league challenge we both attended. And George, on his birthday weekend, won a league challenge this weekend, this Friday. So,
I feel like bad about it though.
why do you feel bad about it?
Because you were doing so well, and I literally beat you on a coin flip.
Nah, listen, man. You know what it is? We joked how this was gonna go in like on the podcast where we talked about it in real life. As I sat and kind of reflected on that weekend, this is like my last hurrah playing my beloved Lugia V Star, who I now have enshrined in one of these
Oh,
three
very
panel
nice.
things on my desk. Yeah, I did this with both of my post rotation decks. I have one for they give you these as like the box collection things every now and then. So I did one for Mew when Mew rotated, and I did one for Lugia. Now that Lugia's rotated, I don't plan on entering any more standard events between now and when Journey's legal. So I was like, all right, Lugia will be my last hurrah. Lugia isn't always the most fun experience. And truthfully, I was riding on a lot of good luck the first 3 rounds anyway. My first round was against fellow friend and guest of the podcast, Andrew. Andrew was played an amalgamation of, it was one of the worst like Palkia Terapagos
He
decks I've ever
tried
seen
it.
in my
He
entire
tried
life.
it. He
He
tried
tried.
it.
He sure did. He gave it the old college try, as we like to say. But his deck just kind of ran out of gas. I he was kind of banking on me swinging into a Pikachu and not being able to do anything, but I was kind of ahead. I paired to a friend of the show, Chris Gonzalez, next round. Chris has kind of like an
You played
awkward
all
lost
the
zone.
homies, huh?
I literally played everybody. It was kind of sick. Chris kind of like ran out of steam in the middle of the game. He was playing Lost Box, so I just kind of took advantage of like an awkward middle game for him. I paired into Lake, who's another one of our locals, on round 3. Lake was playing Gardevoir. They bricked stupid bad. So I just kind of I feel like that matchup has always been kind of hairy for Lugia. If I can't like aggressively use Iron Hands, and Lake just kind of spun their wheels and had a bad start, so I was able to recover. And then we paired into each other, and it came down to a coin flip off of Mezagoza to see who would win or not. So, and then my last round, I paired into Arcaludon, and I prized both my Chinchinos. So I think my luck was just kind of like fluctuating regardless. It was just
Well,
kind
I
of,
also did something insane in that game versus you.
you
Where,
did, yes. You want
where,
to walk the people through it. So
well, I popped like a Dusknoir or Dusclops and then Roxanne, knowing that I probably wasn't going to get into a Charizard. There was a chance that I could. I played Charizard, my same EUIC list, and Kyle just kind of bricked off of that, and I was able to just kind of win the game from that point, which was like, let's be honest, a very ballsy move by me, but I just knew, like, I feel like I know the Lugia matchup very well. I'm like, if I could just
I would
pin,
hope so.
yeah,
we
I'm like,
we do play very
if I
often.
could just pin them into a corner, like you for that, for instance, like pin you into a corner there and just be like, good luck this turn. If you don't beat me this turn, I just win. Then, and if I got
Yeah.
the Charizard there, it would have been very devastating for that game and I would have won anyway. Like if I got the knockout there, I don't think there's any way you win, to be honest. Um,
Um, it's definitely tougher for me in that situation.
yeah, if I go
So
down to one there, I just win because Pidgeot boss.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I took a chance, but it really came down to a Messagosa. If you get heads and get a Pokemon there, I just lose. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was a tough game. Especially granted you went first and you didn't get a Charmander down on your first turn, so like it was like you didn't and it's like you didn't even end up going first to begin with. So we were just both kind of spinning our wheels there. And then my last round I prized both of my Chinchinos
Well,
against
to be fair, I
uh
didn't tell you this, but I also was playing into. I was like, I hope he takes a one prize knockout here, and then I just went on Briar.
mm,
That's also
okay.
the angle I was going for. I was like, either I get Charizard and I just win, or you take a one prize knockout, which you didn't, and then I went on Briar.
Yeah.
So,
It's very awkward. I have to navigate my prize mapping
oh no,
very
I won on Briar.
carefully.
That's how I won. That is what
Yeah,
happened.
you won on
That
Briar.
is what
Yeah,
happened.
I had to.
Okay, yeah.
I was forced to punch into a Charizard, and then it's just like it's either you have Briar or you don't. So you know, at that point, it was just kind of rough for me. It's like I could have maybe like spread my gift energies out a little bit more because like I had Bear sitting on the bench, I had Minchino on the bench, but I feel like that in my line of thinking, I was like, this feels kind of useless because you can search your deck for anything you want. So you're just gonna cherry pick the thing that's not gonna give me more cards in my hand anyway. So I was just kind of, and I still had a lot of like resource left in my deck. I think I still had researches. I had outs. I just didn't. I just, it just didn't pan out the way that I
To be
would have liked
fair,
it to.
too, like I was just on one that day. I was just seeing
Yeah,
things
you
like
played very well. And I'm
so.
not. I don't. I would not take that away from you. It was a very fought hot. It was a well
It
fought
did
game
feel
on
bad
my
though
part.
that like my only game that was close was versus you, and it came down to Messagosa coin flip, and I was like, man, it kind of feels shitty.
Yeah, it's listen, man. Luck is it's something that I've had a hard time wrapping my mind around sometimes. Even like all these years later playing Pokemon still, is that sometimes luck is just a thing that you have to like incorporate. Like I think you come from a sports background. I come from like a semi competitive background in esports and organized sports myself. Is that you know it's sometimes like the whole luck versus skill debate. It kind of like eats away at you sometimes, and it's just like like I've sometimes luck is a much more of a factor than you want to give it credit for. And like no, again, we're friends and no one likes to, no, we don't like to beat up on our friends. That
Well,
that always
just
feels
know
bad.
that your game was the hardest game I played all night. So,
Thanks, man. I'll take that.
so
Um yeah, then my last round was just tragic. I prized both of my Chinchinos against Arcaludon, and then I just don't win that matchup if I don't have it. So um just kind of some it's just Lugia, as cliche as it is. Lugia's you ride on the highs and then you're just kind of, it's a high rollers deck for a reason. So I'm happy to see it go. I'm happy I've enjoyed, the successes that Lugia's brought me. It's a deck that taught me a lot. It's a deck that taught me about proper sequencing and playing to all my outs and making sure, uh, that I understand the grasp of what I'm able to play into. I guess is the most convoluted way I can play it. It's a deck that taught me how to play Pokemon, at
yeah.
a high level.
Well, I'll
So
say too, like similar to what you just said, like that version of Charizard that I played to EYC that I've been playing. That's the most successful I've ever been with a 60 card deck ever. So shout out to Mike Beal. Gave me the list.
yeah,
It's a good
yep.
list.
Sometimes it's the importance of being a one trick. Sometimes I think is important. So play something you're comfortable with. But yeah, I'm looking forward to not having to rely on a coin flip to win my games or even play my games sometimes. Like the amount of games I've started where it's like if I hit heads on his capturing aroma, I lose. Just really makes a guy lose his mind sometimes. So I'm looking forward to greener pastures and more, consistent pastures. But still had a good time. I did not get to partake in the midnight pre-release though. I had to go to work the next day. So George, you want to talk about anything fun for you happen at the midnight
I
pre-release?
got the worst thing ever, dude. Kilowattrel, like Iono's Kilowattrel stinks. Like it's good with like Belly Bolt because it makes sense because you get attach for free, but man, in a pre-release, like I was spinning my. I also didn't. I played the first game with it completely wrong. I was discarding from my hand lightning energy, and I realized later I was like, "Oh, I've been cheating the entire time." So I lost that game anyway. So like, whatever. But like everybody who got the hops like stuff is just so much more broken.
Oh, dude, it's broken. It's
Yeah,
so stupid.
it was like one of the dumbest pre-releases I've ever been a part of. I didn't even pull anything. Shout out to Highlander Games because I ran out of packs. They gave me 5 Journey Together packs. I pulled a Salamence EX, which locate
Nice.
this card isn't that bad. I got some stuff for ends, so like deck. Um, yeah, I got paired Darmakas. I got a Darmanitan.
There
Darmanitan.
you go. We
Um,
taught George the trick to saying Darmanitan. It's just to say it like a cowboy.
yeah, but I've since realized that I will not be playing ends to uh, Atlanta. It's bad. Like it's just not good. The coolest thing I did pull was this little puppy right here.
Ooh. Okay.
Full art belly bolt. Iona's belly
It's
bolt.
pretty cute. I'm into it.
I have no use for it though, so if you want it, let me know. Just give it to you.
We'll chat. I won't say
I'll
no.
just give it to anybody. Like I don't really care. But
I mean, if you're just giving it away, I mean,
I mean, I'm pretty well known for just giving away cards. Don't care about but yeah, I pulled like nothing, bro. Like absolutely
That's
nothing.
tough.
I
Meanwhile, the rich get richer, and Andrew cheated with the pack that he opened. He got the SIR Lily's Clefairy.
I'm saying that I'm not playing Enzo Arc, but don't count me out. I might go back.
George always reserves the right to change his mind at any given time.
Yeah.
George wasn't going to Atlanta up until like a few weeks ago, and he's like, "Come on, you knew I was going to do this." Like, even if it is, it's like, "Come on, like have I ever like?" It was just so funny.
I'm actually very excited for Atlanta. I don't know if you want to jump into that or talk about like Vancouver and stuff first, but
We can talk about the Vancouver stuff first, so we got to get out of the way. We have like a couple major tournaments that happened last week that we didn't get to talk about. There was the Fort Taleza regional championship, which happened in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Won by both in seniors and seniors and masters. The Fernandez brothers, Vinny Fernandez,
They're so
won with
disgusting.
bro. They're so good.
It's the
It
same
is
list from
like
UIC,
insane.
right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So
Nothing to really talk about there. I mean, Monkey Dory and Dragapult, kind of good. Kind of good.
yeah, this build of Dragapult is just like, it's a shame that this is caught on like so late into like the format, because like double Luminion, double Badoo, 4/4 GP Dracloak, like this is just so cool. It's so strong. You're able to see so much of your deck. You have great end game attackers in like Blood Moon Ursa Luna. The Klefki is fun technology. Monkey Dory obviously is proven to be the MVP in a lot of these decks that it features in too. So no surprise that why not just run it back again? The following weekend. He took it over Pedro Petrucci, another one of the best players in Brazil, rocking a lot of Gardevoir and in fact almost entirely Gardevoir and Dragapult in this top 8, but one Roaring Moon and a Lost Box. That's cool, I guess. Vancouver though won by Andrew Hedrick. Speaking of the goats, Andrew I think does not get talked about uh, enough, nearly as much as like as one of like the modern day goats. He continues to be very very good with whatever deck he chooses to pick
What do
up.
you mean?
So
He's definitely one of the top players, dude. He's
I,
disgusting.
I'm not gonna say he's not. I'm not saying he's not considered one of the top players, but like in terms of like
Bro,
modern day goats, like he does.
every regional I go to, sorry to cut you off, but like every time he's playing, everybody's watching his games. Everybody huddles around. Like he's disgusting. What do you mean?
I just don't think he gets talked about in this like as frequently in like the like the goat conversations because now it's like you have to you know I think people like fall off the conversation with like, oh, it's like Tord versus Azul, but it's just like you can't really ignore Andrew in that conversation either.
Oh, okay. I see
It's
what
like
you're
modern day
saying.
goats.
I
Yeah.
think that everybody that plays competitively, like maybe like average players, like he doesn't have the name recognition. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. But I think everybody that plays competitively, like I promise you, like at EYC, like every single one of
Oh
his
no.
like everybody's crowding around his table, want to see what
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing.
No, I don't doubt that one bit.
Like he's disgusting. He's definitely one of the top players in NA, like without a doubt.
And he does it with a bunch of different deck mans. Like people forget he won a regional with Dialga V Star. Like that's crazy. Granted, I still can't believe that myself. He won NASC with Lost Box, and he won this with Dragapult Dustnor in finals against.
Well, Azul and Tord are the same way, right?
Yeah, that's
They
true.
win with
Oh,
every deck, like whatever they think is the
I
right
still think
medical.
that's true. I guess I looking at Dialga and like Matang now in a vacuum, like it looks weird. But given like the time period that deck was good in when Chen Pao was like the top deck in the format, I guess it's not like as like insane to think about. So
Dude, it's just testing, right? Like he plays every deck and he knows what's good. It's like kind of what we're doing right now, going into Atlanta, like in a format that no one has anything other than Champions League results, which are inconsistent because they're best of one and they're like built for best of one. So you can't really go off of them. You could take ideas from them. Well, dude, Andrew Hendrick, like I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree, but like I think anybody that plays competitively are like, yeah, he's if not the best, like top three in North America, hands down.
that being said, won the game. He had an insane 5 prize turn in finals. I watched like as much as Vancouver as I could, but like the West Coast tournaments are hard to watch on a Sunday when I have to go to work the next day. So he won it over Lucas Zing. Lucas played Goldengo in Vancouver. Not the same list that that group played in EUIC. There are a couple of changes. Single prize Goldengo made a surprise appearance in this deck. I still think that card sucks, but given the circumstances at which you're playing it in, makes sense as to why you want like a single prize attacker. Because sometimes if you like take the single prize of Goldengo, you give your opponent the opportunity to go 2/2/2. So like by taking a single prize on a baby Pokemon with the strike it rich attack, you give you force your opponent to have to engage with that in some way. But still very cool though. Goldengo once again and also it added a Spiritomb, which I think is good into it helps you against Cloth, it helps you against Lugia, it helps you against decks that are gonna play like Rotom and stuff too. So Goldengo one day will become the bride, but once again is the bridesmaid. But still pretty cool stuff.
It's my kind of favorite for winning Atlanta right now, to be honest with you. This new format.
It's tough to ignore, man. And
Yeah.
I guess we can move on from this and then kind of preview where we're at because we're both kind of checked out with the format as it is
Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
like, what more is there to say, right? Like, I think Roaring
Yeah,
Moon getting third is interesting, right? But
yeah, Lee Bowie, online, one of the best players in Seattle, online tournament demon. I don't know how he got this far, especially with Dragapults like being the best deck in the format. That's kind of crazy. I feel like this matchup is just awful for Roaring Moon.
remember when that new Koraidon came out and I said what deck it's going to be best in? Do you remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
you said it was gonna be good in this.
Uh, I might know something, Kyle. Even though in our group chat people don't think I know some things, I might know a thing or two.
What's that expression about that broken clock and it being right twice a day?
Dude, but
So
it's not even. I don't even know if it's twice a day anymore. I know things.
George do be knowing
I
stuff.
be knowing shit, dog.
Um, you're smart. You're smart. I'll never. I would never not say that. You definitely know what you're. You see things on a plane of existence that some of us can't comprehend
That's what
sometimes.
I'm saying. Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna go into the water pond in Charizard. I'm not even gonna talk about it. But I fucking said it. I said it. I said it a long time ago, and I was told I was crazy. You know, people
You
just
still might be crazy.
listen. I'm definitely crazy, but like I know what I'm talking about. You know.
It's valid.
All right, let's talk about post rotation because that's what everybody wants to talk about, right? That's the
Yeah.
topic. Atlanta coming up was it April 13th?
April 11th.
April
So
11th.
the first day that everything is standard legal as well. So
Yeah. I mean,
um
listen, it's going to be a hell of a tournament. You know, Brad and I were talking about it, friend of the show, Brad Brown.
Brad Brown.
We're talking about like these regionals are probably the most interesting to watch because you see the creativity more so than other regionals. Like no one really has a
Yeah.
clue. Again, like we go off the Champions League lists, but they're not really optimal for best of three. So like you're never going to see a 60 copied from Champions League, which I always think is very interesting considering they have the cards before us. You never see them in, um, you know, the rest of the world when everybody gets them. You never see those same 60s being copied.
Yeah. I think you see like the rough skeleton of what something looks like,
Right.
but playing for a best of one versus a best of five, best of five, best of three. Yes.
Best of
Yeah,
five,
best of
50
five.
minute.
We see, yeah, we'll never finish. I'm still playing my San Antonio rounds if that's the case. I think preparing for a best of three versus a best of one is like obviously very different. There's always uh you're always just seeing like certain cards like being omitted from these lists. The biggest thing every time I look at a City League list, the first question I ask myself is what can I cut for a pal pad? Because City League lists do not play any sort of like supporter recovery. There's always a bunch of strange like one ofs in your decks and stuff. But at the same time, there are skeletons of what you can expect as well because the format is shifting in a huge way. You know, with we're losing stuff like Luminion and Forest Sealstone. You know, one of supporters are going to be harder to find, so you're seeing a much bigger emphasis on like higher counts of consistency supporters. Um, you know, we obviously have a rough idea of what's going to be good here, like you were saying, but you know, these early format tournaments are a great test of what actually is going to work or not. You can see a lot more creativity. Like if you look at, you know, what the format looked like, you know, I'll use Baltimore as an example, which was like kind of coming off of a fresh format, you know, or that's at the end of the world's format. And then what Louisville looked like a few weeks later, they're basically, you know, they're for the most part, uh, different tournaments than what you'd expect like now, where you're at the end of a format, everything's kind of refined, everybody's just net decking the next 60. You know, you have a lot more room for creativity, you know, going into something especially as fresh as a rotation tournament.
You know what I'm very curious about, and I'd love to hear your opinion about. Why do you think they put in Badu prior to rotation?
That's a good question. I maybe you can you can make the case that like maybe they can see where the game's going. Obviously turbo decks have been very popular since the end of Worlds. Maridon's always been very popular. You know, we were talking going into Baltimore, you know, like these which of the turbo decks is going to be the best ones to play. Roaring Moon was at the you know, on the top of people's list for a while. Raging Bolt has always been as incredibly popular, especially in a you know, Reggie Drago heavy field, and even you look at Reggie Drago, or you look at Charizard, all of the big decks that were doing well are very item card heavy. It's a lot of you're playing solitaire trying to get all your pieces together. So maybe, you know, whoever's in charge of game development or you know, maybe however far in advance they look at these things, it's like, yeah, you know what the format needs right now? Item lock. You know,
Yeah,
that'll maybe slow things down a bit.
because like as we've been testing the rotation, like Badu is probably one of the most important cards in every list. Like since the format has slowed down, Okay, think about it this way: what two cards have become so polarizing? I think it's two in particular. I'm curious what you think they are.
So outside of Badoo, you're asking what two cards have been most
Because of Badoo, because of Badoo.
because of Badoo. I'd say TM Evolution
Yep,
has become
yep.
incredibly important
And then I
for
think
those
there's another
reasons.
one that has a negative effect. That's why I'm saying so polarizing. That's similar.
Oh, okay. So polarizing and a negative effect. Ooh, that's a good question. My mind wants to say, is it in the same vein as a tool card?
No,
As
no, same kind of effect as evolution, evolution. Not a tool
s-
card, it's an item card.
an item card. Ooh, that's interesting. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Uh,
curious where you're
I was
going
going
with
to say
this.
it's so polarizing in the fact that rare candy now
Oh, true.
is so important for a lot of decks to function. But under item lock now, like TM Evo is also polarizing because it's like, can I live without it? And can I live without rare candy? So they're both polarizing in the sense where it's like, okay, am I going to rely on TM Evo to set up? Or do I say, taking my chances, I'm still going to play a deck with Badu in the format and I'm going to rare candy still? And I think those two cards are very, very pivotal in where the format is shifting to because when we look at it as a whole, evolution in general and Pokemon in the TCG is how you set up and how you win games. We went from a format with V Maxes and V Stars where rare candy and evolution didn't matter that much, but now with EXs, they both matter so much.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of looking at it. I didn't even think about the rare candy in like the negative sense, where it been so incredibly popular. You take that away from certain archetypes, and they just kind of stop working. Which is why you're seeing you're seeing Pidgeotto get we moves into a lot of these decks. You're seeing more heavier counts of Charmeleon in Charizard decks. I'll give you two more cards that I think are going to be that are were important near the end of this format, and I think are going to get even better moving forward. The first one being Monkey Dory.
Yeah.
I think Monkey Dory is going to get its opportunity to really stick its plant its ground as a pivotal card for a lot of decks moving forward. I remember looking at that Goldengo list from the Champions League that played the Monkey Dory in it, and I'm like, why? What is this? What are we doing here? And then you saw it pop up in the UIC list, and I'm like, wait a second. Now I sort of see the vision here. That 30 damage, number one knocks out Badu, which is obviously very important now. 30 has become it's like the numbers in Lost. Like you start seeing them in your brain. It's just like, okay, that's an important number I have to be mindful to hit. But then
Hmm.
30 damage can make the difference between, a 7 energy KO with Make It Rain or a 6 energy KO with Make It Rain. And you can obviously weave that math into a bunch of other places too. You see Gardevoir playing 2, sometimes they're playing 3. So Monkey Dory, I think, is only going to continue to rise in stock and value. The second card is Crispin. Crispin, I think that maybe gets laughed at still as a supporter option because you only get one of those per turn, so it has to really matter in the grand scheme of things. And now in a format where your energy acceleration is not as guaranteed, whether your opponent, if your opponent's going to be playing one or two copies of Badu, being able to get that energy online quickly is huge. And I think Crispin is going to, we're seeing it in a lot of the City League results. You're seeing 3, sometimes 4 copies of it just so you're able to to chain those attackers
So,
together.
so like I agree with you first of all, and like let's break down why, right? So, I think first of all, let's go to Monkey Dory. Why is Monkey Dory such a good card right now? What is probably BDIF and going to be the most played deck in Atlanta?
Probably Dragapult.
Dragapult, right? And what does Dragapult want to do? They want to take out
Spread damage.
spread damage and take multiple knockouts, right? So like if I am able to move that damage back onto your board, especially to your point, like you said, with like knocking out Badu, dealing with that, and then taking a 2 prize turn without swinging into a 2 prizer, very important. Second, card you said there, Crispin, look at cards that under Badu lock that do the same effect, right? Energy switch, we can't play that now under Badu lock, and we're losing cards like Dark Patch. And then also, like, sure, Miraidon's probably not going to be played that much, but under Badulok, you can't generate her either. So, like, there's a lot to be said. We're kind of moving and to your point, Kyle, of like energy acceleration. Have you noticed also that we have fully already in this rotation noticed the power of Terra Pokemon?
Yeah. I think Terra they've been like shoving Terra Pokemon down our throats for like the entirety of the Sword and Shield, the Scarlet and Violet block. And they've just felt kind of like, it's a bench barrier effect for the most part.
So
Your
much more
Pokemon
than
have
that.
cooler. It's so it was, but now it's become so much more than that.
Yes,
Now is
yes.
what I'm trying to get at. So we're seeing that Noctowl is becoming an essential piece because look at what you're losing. You're losing Radiant Greninja. You're losing draw power. You're losing Pokestop. You're losing the ability to run through your deck. You're losing Trekking Shoes, cards that would allow you to see more cards. So the importance of being able to just cherry pick those at will is very important. So I think now we're seeing, whether it's the explosion of the Terra Box archetype, which is looking to be a very strong archetype moving forward, or Pokemon that are like weaving in a singular copy of a Terra Pokemon. That to help activate that to get that Noctowl off the ground. And we were seeing bits and pieces of that months ago when people were teching in a 1-1 line of Noctowl into Regidrago. So I think now that we've stripped away a lot of the really broken stuff, you're going to see a lot more of what maybe the game designer's vision was for when the Scarlet and Violet block came out. Um, and I think, whether or not they continue to print more Terra Pokemon as we move into the game's Twilight life cycle, we'll see. But I think if, like you mentioned, now it's as good as a time to pick those cards up because it's looking to be pretty strong.
I wonder if they're going to print any Terra trainers Pokemon.
It's tough because I'm curious if we're going to print more trainers Pokemon after the ones we've seen already after our May set because I think Japan's getting the Mega Evolution stuff in September, so we're probably going to get the stuff like at the end of this calendar year. So I don't know. I don't. It's such a weird spot right now because we don't know when Pokemon Legends is coming out. So like, it's hard to game plan for what their game plans are for that moving forward. So are we going to just go from Terras to Mega Evolution again? I don't know, but I think the Terras have now that they've kind of found an engine that works. They've proven to be a little bit more interesting now. So
Yeah, I think what you said earlier, like the crazy part of it is, and I was kind of alluding to it, like there's so much more. Yeah, like the interaction, especially like Area Zero, like what's like been a problem in the Pokemon TCG, like for a while, bench space, right?
yep,
Like, oh, like it's too clunky. I don't have the bench space for this. Like, how many times have you said that to yourself? Area Zero
too
just
many times.
yeah, Area Zero just squashes all that. And all it takes is to have one of these strong Terra basic Pokemon. And now we're looking at a format with Atlanta coming up. What's everybody wary about? The Walls deck coming out with Melodic and Frigoraph and Cornerstone. You know what I mean? And Mimikyu still exists. So, like, Walls is real. Terror Box is real. Dragapult is still here. But there's one deck, Kyle, that everybody thought was going to be dead that I have faith in, and that's Gardevoir. That's our savior.
You know what? I've kind of come around to Gardevoir a bit too. Like, I don't think it's definitely worse than it was. Losing Curlia and Radiant Greninja is like crippling for the deck, but you still have two of the best single prize attackers at your disposal in that deck. Also, ironically enough, I found a random pack of Scarlet and Violet base set on like my living room counter today. I found a Curlia. So hey, how
Hey,
about that?
hey,
Look at that.
look at you.
Look at that. Look at me. Who would have thunk? But I still think the deck is very good. It's it's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, you're gonna like a lot of the games I've played that I've tested so far with Gardevoir. Sometimes you're forced to research and hope you hit what you need. Um, The deck doesn't have as defensive as a strategy as it used to have. But you still have Drifloon, you still have Screamtail. Getting rid of your tool cards is not as easy as is going to be as easy moving forward because vacuum rotates. So it just goes back to the cycle again of like, well, other people's game plans are going to become a lot harder, and quite frankly, a lot of the really good decks all get a lot worse. So everybody's kind of starting from the ground floor again. Um, and I think Gardevoir is one of those decks where, like, as long as it continues to retool, it's never going to be bad, in my opinion.
I also like want to call out that, no bench barrier right now is pretty
Yeah,
crazy. And I
that's
think
huge.
I think Gardevoir gets a lot better when the Shaman gets printed. Um, I've seen a lot of lists from Champions Leagues right now with Gardevoir winning, with Shaman involved. So like no bench barrier obviously makes that was my initial appeal, Kyle, to ends like the Darmanitan attack, doing 90-90, using reversal, Defiance Band. Obviously, we know the air fryer story. I'm busted. But I think like that's what makes Terror Box a S tier deck right now. Um, Water Pond is kind of stronger than it's ever been.
Yeah, I agree. I think being able to hit the bench is definitely a luxury right now. Like Radiant Greninja, we talked about it in our episode a couple weeks ago. It's going to go down as one of the best cards ever printed,
Right.
both as a draw engine and it's from an attacker standpoint. Just being able to hit the bench and just cripple people's game plans is huge stuff. And I think we're going to see bits and pieces of that, obviously, with Darmanitan and with Ogerpon. And I think the Shaman, obviously is going to be a welcome addition. It's a good way to write a bench protection Pokemon. And it is kind of like, it's so weird given that like Japan is again going to be so far in the future of us. Like we're just getting the owners Pokemon, and they're going to be under a second set of everything. Like they're already playing City League tournaments with the new cards. So I kind of feel like what the heck was that?
I'm scrolling on Instagram.
There he goes. It's, so I kind of feel like the meme of like the guy like walking with his girlfriend. He like looks over his shoulder at the girl walking by, and like everyone's practicing for Atlanta, and I'm just looking at the Destined Rivals stuff because it's going to be our NAIC set, and there's already some interesting stuff coming out of there that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But again, the game's just ever changing. We're I think the decks that we talked about that are already good are going to take a bit of a hit. Obviously, Goldengo is another one that rises to I think is finally going to get its time to shine. There's going to be a lot of decks like that like you're going to kind of read these cards out and be like, this is insane, but it was hard, but you couldn't really appreciate it for how good it was yet because
That
the V
always
stars are
happens.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens every time.
Yeah.
So, but I think Goldengo is another one of those decks where it's just like people are starting to see it a little bit more seriously than it once was. Raging Bolt is going to continue to be good still, so it's exciting stuff. I'm kind of glad I'm not going to Atlanta. As sad as I am to be missing out on hanging out with you guys. I do not envy having to play in a format where everything's so brand new and you don't really know what to expect because everyone's gonna be playing something different.
I'm
So
stressing out, man. I don't know what the hell to do. I feel like everybody feels that way though right now.
yeah, I think everybody goes through like the waves of testing where it's just like everything you play sucks. Like I'm gonna go 0-5 drop. Like it's gonna be the worst weekend of my life. And then as you start to get some more games in, you start to go back up the mountain, and then everything sucks again. But hopefully, when you hit that dive a second time, it's not as bad. I know going into San Antonio, I felt awful about Reggie Drago, and then I felt great for a while, and then it was awful again. But
Let's be
it's
honest.
fine.
I'm just gonna play whatever Mike hands me. Let's be honest.
You're gonna play Charizard.
No.
No. Yeah, but that's a good preview into what we can look forward to, and we're soon. I can't wait to get my hands on these cards physically, man. Like it's actually driving me crazy. I'm
Yeah, you
excited. I
don't
get to
have
play in a
any, right?
pre-release. No, because I didn't get to play. I didn't get to play in the midnight pre-release because I had to go to work, and then I didn't get a chance to play in the FTG pre-release because I went to a hockey game on Sunday. But we're doing a second pre-release at FTG on Wednesday that I'm partaking in. So I'm excited. I usually like to do at least one pre-release just to kind of get my hands on some things. So get that guy away from me.
This card is going to be something one day.
What does that effect do?
As long as it's on your bench, your Pokemon that's in the active has 2 retreat less.
Huh. Cute.
Mark my words.
Not bad.
This Toad Scroll. Look at it.
You
Remember
know,
it.
I can't never doubt you because you're usually always right about these things. That being said, that's gonna cover, I think,
Also,
where we're at.
This cloth, if they print another double colorless, sorry, I'm ADHD right now, but this is going to be the new control card for two energy. It flip a coin for each heads. It's Crushing Hammer.
That's pretty good. Bring back Double Turbo, man. Double Turbo energy was fine. So they gotta bring back my goat. All right, before George goes off another ADHD tangent, I'm going to introduce
this
our
card.
next
No, I'm just kidding.
It's just show and tell. This card, we're gonna get into our next segment of the show: Squawk or Seize, everyone's favorite this or that question game. Where usually we ask each other alternating this or that questions depending on our mood, and we talk about them. However, I want to do something special for George this week. So George's birthday was last week, as we mentioned. And what is a birthday without a birthday party? And I figured to keep things fun, we're gonna build a birthday Pokemon party for George. So I have a Pokemon random generator that's gonna generate Pokemon, and we're gonna Squawk or Seize.
This is fun.
We're gonna Squawk or Seize whether or not this Pokemon is invited to George's birthday party.
I like it.
So we're gonna go till we get a party of 6, and then we'll determine what kind of a vibe this party is. So Georgie, are you ready?
How many do you think I'm gonna seize?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of Pokemon, so
I think I'm gonna seize a lot of them. I hate Pokemon.
All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna randomly generate, and
I hate Pokemon. The quote of the podcast.
Yeah, it's every week. I'm still unsure. All right, George. The first person we're going to recommend inviting to your birthday party. Mm-hmm. Are we going to Squawk or Seize Alcremie?
Oh, hell no. Well, it is a birthday cake.
It is kind of fitting.
I don't want it there. I don't want to hang out with it. I want to eat it.
You don't invite your friends to hang out to eat them.
Is it Alcremie VMAX?
It's not.
Regular Alcremie?
Regular Alcremie.
I need a bigger cake than that. We're seasoned.
All right, Alcremie not on the guest list. Your text got lost.
Alcremie VMAX though, that's a nice centerpiece.
It's great. It's a big party. It's a fancy party. Yeah. All right, are we gonna Squawk or Seize Volcarona? Is Volcarona invited to your birthday party?
What do you think, bro? Seize.
I'm gonna say
I'm not gonna have a fucking moth at my fucking birthday, dude. Absolutely not.
You know what Volcarona does? Volcarona just hangs around the snack table and just like munches on it. Like he's double dipping in the chip bowl. Like he's
just gross. And he's
a friend of a friend.
And
like your friend asked if they can bring a friend to your party.
Yeah, and he's just exerting like heat. Like get out of here, dude.
He just smells bad.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
All right. Squawk or Seize Mr. Mime. Being invited to your birthday
party. Oh, I want to say something so bad. I'm not going to say. Just seize. For every reason that you're all thinking, yes, seize. My mom might be there. I might be afraid. All
right. I was Squawk or Seize Galarian Meowth.
No, dude. Shit, no. That dude's a creep too with his weird, like Fred Durst looking goatee, bro. Get out of here. Seize, bro. Seize.
All right, let's see. What's a good one? All right, here we go. Squawk or Seize Mousehold.
No, dude, it's gonna be like breeding, like there's gonna be like 1 million of them by the end of it. Like there's gonna be no room. Seize.
Don't you hate it when you invite too many people to a party?
I don't know if I'm gonna squawk any of these. This might be backfiring.
No, this is great. This is good content. We got plenty of time still. How about Machoke? Squawker sees Machoke. Is he invited to your party?
He's too swole, bro. He's gonna one up me, bro. He can't be there. Cease.
This is so good. All right. Squawker sees Garchomp. Is Garchomp invited to your birthday party?
Garchomp. I'm squawking Garchomp.
There we go. We got one.
Because I feel like Garchomp like knows he's badass, but like he's got Cynthia there, so Cynthia will be there too. She's pretty, like I'm down. Yeah.
Does Garchomp bring snacks to the party? What does Garchomp bring to the party?
I don't know. Doesn't Garchomp like always have a berry on it whenever you play Cynthia?
Garchomp's bringing fruit.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a rough invite. All right, but Garchomp's on the list though. So
we got one. Garchomp's awesome. Let's be honest.
All right, how about Dugong? Is Dugong invited to your birthday party?
Dugong is chilling, dude. Dugong. He's literally ice Pokemon. He's literally chill, bro. Dugong's got to be hilarious, right?
Dugong has to be funny.
I'm squawking Dugong. Wow, back-to-back jacks.
Yeah, right, wow, there we go. Look at that. We found a rhythm here.
Dugong and Garchomp hanging out. Dugong and Garchomp walk into a bar.
Dugong is definitely playing some like lo-fi like house music on the aux though.
Like Dugong can't be a bad like hang. Like I said, he's an ice Pokemon. He's chill. Like
literally chill. All right, let's see. All right. Squawker sees Milotic. Is Milotic invited to your birthday party?
God, I want to say so many things right now. Cease.
Rough one.
It's also Roger's favorite Pokemon, so I don't want Roger.
Oh,
there,
yeah. So. Shout out Roger. All right. How about Crustle? Is Crustle invited to your birthday party?
Crustle? I can't have any crusty motherfuckers there, dude. No.
Okay, here we go. This is great. Pidgeot. Is Pidgeot invited to your birthday party?
Oh, yes. Squawk and Pidgeot.
Yeah, there we go.
What would I be without Pidgeot? That's the real question.
Pidgeot's the first text, I think.
Let me ask you a question. Would I be on this podcast without Pidgeot?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No. This would be a finance podcast or something. I would have found a different angle somewhere.
And listen, if I need to find anything at the party, who am I asking?
You're asking Pidgeot.
It's gonna search it quick, right?
Yeah. So Pidgeot, we need someone to go get ice. Pidgeot's got you, man. Like, we need to find pong balls. Pidgeot knows exactly where they are in the house. All right, so for keeping track at home, it's Garchomp, Dugong, and Pidgeot right now as the hang.
Wow, what a crew!
All right, let's see. How about? Okay, here we go. How about Chimchar? Is Chimchar invited to your birthday party?
Chimchar's out, dude. He's too little, bro. He's gonna mess up the vibes, dude. No offense.
Okay,
it was a Fernape, and Fernape, my slot receiver. I would invite him.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Chimchar's not of age. He can't attend.
And Fernape's got a road game that weekend. How about specifically Mega Tyranitar? Is Mega Tyranitar invited to your party?
He's got like too much armor. I don't think he gets past the metal detector. So sees Mega Tyranitar.
This one would be kind of a fun hang. Litwick.
I mean, if the fucking lights go out, maybe, right? Season Litwick. It's just a candle. It's like, you know what Litwick always reminds me of? Like the candle from Beauty of the Beast.
Yeah.
Like that and like Sinista, whatever. Like that's literally Beauty of the Beast.
That's funny. That's a good. All right. How about Munchlax? We got a Squawker sees Munchlax.
Where like who's gonna eat if Munchlax is there?
Munchlax fills the same role that Volcarona fills for like. He's just gonna stand by the snack table and not talk to anybody.
Yeah, it's not sees Munchlax. Sorry, and also too young, way too young.
That's true. All right, how about Torterra? You can invite Torterra to your birthday party.
I do like Torterra.
He seems like a cool guy.
Torterra's a tough one for me. I don't want a tree in the middle of the party, you know?
There is a space problem for sure.
Torterra. I really like Torterra. Torterra is like the 7th person on the list. If someone cancels, Torterra's.
You're gonna buy Torterra.
Yeah, we're seasoned Torterra.
All right. How about going right back into the drink here? How about Bouffalon? Is Bouffalon invited to your birthday party?
No. No, Bouffalon. What do you think?
Sure.
You're not. You're like a fake Taurus. Like you're not even. Everybody knows you were only created because you look like Taurus, and you're out.
That's so funny. All right. How about Squawker sees Nita Reno? Is Nita Reno invited to your birthday party?
Nah, it's still adolescent. It's not old enough to come. Nito King though, he's there, dude. 100%.
All right. How about your goat? I think I hope you might like this one. Pelipper. Is Pelipper invited to your birthday party?
Pelipper. No, you know what? I did. That's the worst Charizard list I've ever played. Was with Pelipper. Screw Pelipper. Seize Pelipper. No, I'm out on Pelipper. Even though, like, no, just he can fit a lot of gifts probably in his mouth, but no, seize Pelipper. Pelipper's out. We already have a bird.
Right.
We already have a bird.
That's true. Yeah, we do have a bird quota filled already. All right. How about Raikou? Is Raikou invited to your birthday party?
Raikou is pretty tough. He's a legend. He's a legend.
He is legendary.
We're squawking Raikou.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Raikou.
Raikou's definitely like he's like a bit of an older, like he brings a little bit of experience to the party.
He's a legend. He's legendary.
Yeah, he's a legend. He's legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
Yeah, I was just about to make that joke. That's crazy.
This is why we're friends. All right, so just looking at the list one more time. We got Garchomp, we got Dugong, we got Pidgeot, we got Raikou.
What a gang. Dugong is definitely the outlier here, but chill guy.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun. How about Beware? Is Beware invited to your party?
I mean, have you watched the anime? Who wants him there?
He's pretty crazy.
And it's also Andrew's V-Star marker, and I don't want Andrew there, so that's cool.
All right, let's see. How about Thwacky? Same vein, Thwacky too young for it.
If it was Rillaboom would slide into the guest list because I love Grookey and Rillaboom, but Thwacky, he's a teenager, you know. Also, he's banging on things too much. He's got too much ADHD, honestly.
Thwacky's gonna get in some fights.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, are you gonna Squawk or Seize? How about Weavile? Is Weavile invited to your birthday party?
No. Seize Weavile. Long ass claws. What are you thinking?
All right, let's see.
Go get a manicure before you show up.
Yeah, bro's got a lot going on. Let's see. How about Squawk or Seize Kling Clang? Is Kling Clang on the list?
Bro. No. Seize.
I'm just trying to throw you the worst party of all time.
Yeah, come on. There's a few I have in mind that I'm saving for here.
All right, here we go. Squawk or Seize the goat himself, Squawkabilly.
Squawkabilly's there. he doesn't even identify as a bird. He's just a mascot. Squawkabilly's there. Squawkabilly.
We have to. Specifically the yellow Squawkabilly. That's the one that was on the generator. So.
I mean, Squawkabilly, if he's not there, I'm terribly offended.
we have to cancel a party if it doesn't show up.
Yeah.
All right, we got room for one more here. So we're going to have to make this one count. Are we going to Squawk or Seize Clefairy?
Too young. Even though I'm a big fan of Lily's Clefairy right now. But
good card.
But no,
how about Scrafty? Scrafty doing anything?
No,
Scrafty invited your
he's
party.
He's like a punk, dude. I can't have no punks on my party.
He plays only Pearl Jam on the aux cord. Let's see. How about Squawk or Seas? What's a good one here? How about Swampert?
It's got these big hands.
It's very it's very intimidating.
Sea Swampert. I don't want him there. His hands are too big.
It is quite terrifying.
And he's from the swamps. Probably smells like shit. You know?
Yeah, it probably smells pretty bad. Oh, here we go. This is great. Squawk or Seas, the big man himself, Blastoise.
That's what I was waiting for. Big man Blastoise. Big. I mean, if I didn't get Charizard, big man Blastoise 100%. So, big man Blastoise is coming in with shades on. He's performing and squawking that.
All right, so there we go. We have our party of 6. So just for the recap at home, we have Garchomp, Dugong, Pidgeot, Raikou. Who's the other one?
Squawkabilly.
Squawkabilly.
I can forget Squawkabilly.
And my brain stopped working for a second. And the last party slot's going to Big Man Blastoise.
Big man Blastoise. Big man Blastoise. Dude.
So where does this party go for the party? Like what's the vibe with this group?
An old shitty bar. Preferably have a dartboard. Maybe a little live music, tequila flowing, and Guinness on tap.
Who's the least likely to pay for your dinner out of this group?
Garchomp, 100%.
1,000%. Garchomp left her wallet in the car.
Garchomp's like, I can't get into my wallet, my pockets with my weird fingers.
All right, George. So your honorable mentions. Who are? Give me 3 guests who were out of town this weekend and couldn't make it to your party.
I mean, like Charizard obviously is, up there. He's everywhere back there.
He's the mascot.
Yeah, I mean, would I be here without Charizard? That's really the question.
No, it'd be a finance podcast.
Yeah. And Charizard is just, quite frankly, the coolest guy at the party. Like, everybody wants to be friends with Charizard. Obviously, Pikachu. If Pikachu came up, how could you? I probably would be banned if I didn't invite Pikachu, right?
That's true.
And then I would say third, just like one of my favorite Pokemon. It's so weird because I don't have like favorite Pokemon.
It's true, you don't.
I don't.
You love them all equally, or hate them all equally, honestly. So,
probably Venusaur.
Good choice.
I'm just a Kanto starter guy. Let's be honest.
You're a Gen 1er.
That's
what you are. You're a Gen 1.
Oh, maybe Gyarados too. I've always been a Gyarados guy.
Ooh, Gyarados would be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Gyarados brings taquitos. That's what he brings.
So take out of the honorable mentions, like Pikachu aside, because like if Pikachu came up, you have to invite Big Pika. Like,
sure,
Squawkabilly is the mascot, but Pikachu is the mascot.
Yeah, Pikachu's the CEO.
CEO, yeah. So it would be Charizard, Venusaur, and Gyarados would have been my other 3.
There we go. Not a bad roster. I think we found a good group to hang out with. This group's gonna have fun.
I just can't believe Dugong made it.
Dugong's kind of sick, man. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, Dugong might be like a sleeper. Like Dugong's like the tertiary friend that like you see every now and then with like the big group, but like then you get him in more like intimate setting. It's like, do you know what, Dugong? You're actually kind of cool.
Dude, Dugong's awesome, man. Can you imagine him chilling at a party, just laughing it up, cracking jokes?
Like, Dugong's got life experience.
Honestly, if Dugong isn't invited to this party, the party stinks.
Yeah, Zach, there we go. He's the glue.
Yeah.
He's the glue. There we go. That's going to be it for this edition of Squawker Seas. I want to do something different this week. I felt bad. It was good. I want to do something to celebrate your birthday.
Well, let me just ask you though, before we leave here, did I seize more or less than you think I was going to?
You seized about as many as I thought you were going to seize. So there was a couple where I'm just like, maybe he might think this Pokemon's like unironically kind of cool. But you were just your logic is very sound as to why you don't like a lot of those Pokemon. So a lot of it makes sense. So Georgie, let the people know where they can find you if they feel so inclined to do so.
Pony Bottle Champ, PNYBTL Champ on TCG Live on the X format. You want to hear something sad, Kyle? I got a
I'd
new
love to.
phone and
Oh, you lost. No, it's dead. George was one of the last people I knew that had Twitter on his phone, and now he had to get a new cell phone, and now it's gone. It's the X app now.
Yeah. What about you, man?
It's still Twitter.
Where can we find you?
You can find me at Koopa NJ across platforms on Instagram, on the app formerly known as Twitter, everywhere. I got some stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, so gonna be pretty exciting. I've got some commentary stuff happening at the end of this month, so you guys can follow me there for updates on that, and obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Spotify, and yep, check us out wherever you can.
Comment.
Yep, like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell to be notified. And yeah, we'll that's gonna be all we got for you guys this week. And we'll have even more fun for you guys next week. So have yourselves a wonderful night, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Peace.